The Jacobi Medallion, over time, it's really evolved to become the single most important award that Mount Sinai, as an entire healthcare system, awards to its leadership and to people who have demonstrated significant contributions to the strength of Mount Sinai in lots of different ways. The recipients this year, each one in their own right, is a significant contributor to the overall legacy and heritage and dedication that Sinai has to advancing medicine and to advancing the way we treat everybody. All of them support the legacy of delivering tomorrow's medicine today.
After I graduated college, I was determined to make it in show business. I actually was dreaming of becoming a singer my whole life, but I needed a job. My very first job in life was here as a clinical coordinator. I would go off onto auditions in the middle of the day, and slowly but surely I started to get more interested in what was going on in the day job than in the show business career. I met my husband here at Mount Sinai during my fellowship project. We were shrinking prostates with hormones, and he was the urologist doing the transrectal ultrasounds. It was a very romantic meeting. And since then, we've been collaborators. We run a lab together. My son was born here. So pretty much my whole personal life and professional life has been spent here at Mount Sinai.
Alice Levine, 1986 graduate of our training programs at Mount Sinai Hospital. Fantastic endocrinologist. She never gives up, and she works to find the right treatment, no matter how difficult the clinical problem.
I've been lucky enough to have a career that's, I think, very exciting because I combine clinical care with teaching and with doing research.
Alice is well known for her expertise in prostate cancer and the hormonal therapy related to that.
We've made some, I think, very seminal observations in the field of prostate cancer about what causes a prostate cancer to turn bad when it does, to spread to bones.
She has created, together with colleagues, a nationally well-known center in adrenal disease. And from that point of view, she has spread our fame.
I'm proud of my research accomplishments. I feel that research is part and parcel of giving good care to patients.
She is a very special clinician educator because she's outstanding in both roles. She's able to help them develop the clinical skills that they need to become the outstanding physicians that Mount Sinai produces.
My role in training the new generation is my most important role because it's the most long-lasting. I try to help them see that there's something that's singing to them. Medicine has a lot of show business in it because everything is stories, everything is narratives, having a beginning, a middle, and an end. I have enjoyed and still do enjoy my career here at Mount Sinai. For me, it's been the gift that keeps giving. It's a very rich life.
This has been my shining hour till I'm with you again.
It's hard to imagine I've been at Mount Sinai for 8.5 years already. I've never been happier at another institution. I was given the opportunity to found a brain institute, later named the Friedman Brain Institute. Mount Sinai's charge to me as the new director was to build a program that went from the most basic molecular biology research to clinical research to the delivery of clinical care. And I moved here based on that promissory note that we could build something truly novel and unique at Mount Sinai.
Under Eric Nestler's leadership, the Friedman Brain Institute, has recruited other top scientists that hold the promise of making discoveries that will change the lives of patients with Alzheimer's disease, depression, schizophrenia, post-traumatic stress disorder. When the history books are written, they're going to look back at this time under Eric's leadership, where major discoveries were made that changed the lives of millions of patients.
I run the Nash Family Laboratory, focused on drug addiction and depression. The big question we started out studying is, by what mechanism do nerve cells in the brain change over time in response to a drug of abuse? We discovered a major driver of motivation under normal conditions and a driver of craving and relapse to a drug-addicted state.
Eric has been the dominant figure in the field. He pioneered the field of understanding the molecular basis of major depressive disorder. This is monumental because the number of people who are suffering from depression is astronomical.
One of the most important traits in a researcher, and I tell this to all my students and postdocs, is stamina. I think the advances that my lab was able to make were based on the fact that we were willing to do experiments that were difficult to do.
Under his leadership, he's been transformational for neuroscience by being able to recruit faculty, to recruit postdocs, to recruit students, and those things have paid enormous dividends to Mount Sinai.
The greatest recognition in the field is to be honored by one's colleagues. I would love for people to recognize my passion for science, how proud I am of the contributions that we've made, how much gratification I've had for mentoring the next generation and building the Friedman Brain Institute into literally the best brain institution in the world.
I think a compass for me for many years was the idea that I should be responsible for changing the way people think. And at Mount Sinai, I was in an environment that supported questioning, curiosity. There was a charge to do more, to try and find those answers to questions. That's a game-changing experience for a student. That was a whole new world for me.
Jonathan Stamler, a 1985 graduate of our medical school. His research has enormous possibilities for critical diseases that need new treatments and even cures. Simply put, he is among the most distinguished graduates of our medical school.
The principal metric in great discovery is creativity. It's not intellect, it's creativity.
His most famous discovery is that there is a protein that we study called hemoglobin. It's the protein in red blood cells that allows us to carry oxygen to our tissues and remove carbon dioxide out of the body through the lungs. So the dogma of biology is that this protein, hemoglobin, carried two gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. And lo and behold, Dr. Stamler comes in and says, guys, we got it wrong. It carries three gases. It not only carries oxygen and carbon dioxide, it carries nitric oxide.
We work in the lab to identify diseases in which there is a deficiency of nitric oxide in the blood, to replenish the nitric oxide where it is deficient, so that we can treat diseases of heart, lung, and blood.
It's just a beautiful and amazing observation and finding that has really changed the way we think about heart function and blood flow. And this was completely revolutionary. It threw the whole field upside down.
Sinai is all about innovation and innovative technologies that can be translated into patient care. John, as the president of the Harrington Institute, plays a major role in initiating innovation across the globe. And John has been a vital force making a national impact in his field and generally in the field of innovation.
Receiving the award made me remember that we are who we are. And I come from Sinai. Sinai taught me and set the standards for me. And I've always hoped that in some way I can make a difference. scariest thing for me is having spent my time on this earth and not made a difference. So I'm very driven to want to know that that time was well spent.